Hey girls, welcome back to another amazing episode of the Go Girl podcast. I hope you've been having a great week. Hope you've been loving the episodes I'm putting out. I got a lot of good feedback from last week's episode, dating ins and outs, because I know it's been a struggle in those dating streets, and I'm here to help you. First of all, I am here to help you. I'm also a relationship coach, so be sure to book your free consultation right now. You could go on gogirlmovement.org. I can also help you with the Go Girl Guidebook available on Amazon. It's a guide to help you get your life together. All right. It's interactive, full of journal prompts, and it's another way for me to help you out in these dating streets or just to become a better version of yourself. So, because we talked about ins and outs with dating last week, I figured let's talk about how to form new habits. Maybe you need to break some bad habits or welcome in some new habits. I did have an episode similar to this last year at the top of the year. It was episode 133, where I discussed how to build a habit, stack a habit, and break bad habits. And that came from a book that I'm actually reading right now. Those habit tips were from one chapter. However, I read the full book now, and I want to share more of how to form a new habit. All right. So let's get present in the moment and say today's I am affirmation. I am so proud of myself. That's it. Yeah. I am so proud of myself. If you're watching this video, you can see I have a big smile on my face when I say that because yeah, I'm internalizing that. I'm definitely proud of myself. I've been sticking to some new habits this year. I'm proud of myself for staying on top of it or getting back in the rhythm and the routine of it. And that's what I want to talk about today's episode with habits. But I just want you to be so proud of yourself just for showing up for yourself, right? It's not always easy. Sometimes you'll have rough days, but you'll get through it. You've gotten through your last rough day, right? So you can get through another one. Just be proud of yourself. Be proud of yourself for becoming better. Be proud of yourself for listening to this podcast, which is full of great gems on how to become a better person, how to love yourself more, how to attract better relationships. So be proud of yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. Say that one more time. I am so proud of myself. And that's how I want you to feel when you are creating new habits and you're sticking to them. I want you to be just as proud. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. So today's episode, it actually is like a book wreck. All right. I've been reading Atomic Habits. Let me take that back. Not really reading. Y'all, y'all know I'm a podcast girl. Well, let me not even get mad at y'all, okay? Because someone did recommend this before, but audiobooks, what? I think someone recommended it like years ago. I posted on my Facebook status years ago, like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to read more books, help me out. And someone said, oh, try audiobooks. And at the time, I'm like, but I realized some audiobooks I can listen to. If it's like a fiction or something, then no, because I feel like with fiction, you have to use your imagination, and I might want to use different voices in my head while I'm reading. But for a self-help book, I think it's totally fine for it to be an audiobook. And is so this was my first audiobook that I listened to full through, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I am stuck in traffic on my way to work and on my way home, so it was easy just to turn it on, listen to an hour during my commute, and get a lot of gems out of it. Unfortunately, I was unable to highlight things, underline things, or pause and really think about things. No, that's a lie. I did pause and think about things and reflect on how the chapter could relate to my own life. I did do that. So that's a good thing about audiobooks. I can pause, just like if I was reading it, I could stop. But the other things like highlighting and whatnot, I couldn't do, which is okay because I rarely go back to those highlights anyway. But I was able to just soak up some great information. So I read, or rather listened to, Atomic Habits, Tiny Changes, Remarkable Results by James Clear. Oh my gosh, this was a great book. I'm a self-help girl, or I guess self-improvement, personal development girl. I love reading books and listening to podcasts about wellness and becoming a better person. And that's why I have my podcast now, sharing some tips that I've learned in my own journey or just tips that I've learned from different books and other podcasts, right? And I love this book. Okay. He broke things down made things simple, and it made it easy to understand. So if you want to read the book, I highly would recommend it. However, I do have my own little clip notes to share with you today. So, how to form a new habit. So, pretty much an atomic habit is a regular practice or routine that is not only small and easy to do, but is also the source of incredible power, right? Like, this is something so small that would change your life in great, huge, big ways if you keep up with that habit and routine. And I wanted to do this episode at the top of the year because I know people are still into their New Year resolutions or new intentions for the year. And I think this is a great time to build new habits, form new habits. And you can use the habits to make sure the rest of your year is just as great as January because I'm feeling good. And I'm hoping that this energy lasts all through the year. Like it's January, it's new, it's the beginning, it's the top of the year. And I'm feeling some good energy. And I'm like, sometimes though, things kind of slow down or get back to old routines and old habits by middle of the first quarter. And I'm just like, no, I refuse because I'm building some new habits. So I also learned from this book that bad habits repeat themselves again and again, not because you don't want to change, but because you have the wrong system for change. We'll get into that, how to create those systems. And also, changes that seem so small and unimportant at first will actually create some of the best, remarkable results if you're willing to stick to them. Okay. I'll also share some of the habits that I've been indulging in at the top of the year. And first of all, with me listening to an audiobook, I love that. And it went by really quick. It was like 6 hours. So that's like a whole week's worth of driving to and from. So I'm like, oh, I could read a lot of books just by listening to them. This is cool. So that's a good habit that I'm trying to start. I do want to read like one book a month. So far I've read, don't judge me, listen to Atomic Habits. Same thing, right? So let's talk about not setting goals, but instead focusing on a system and working on a system that works for you. So he says in the book that goals are about the results you want to achieve, systems are about the processes that lead to those results, right? Like, how are you going to do these things? And he said the two most common cues are time and location. So the formula is I will do this behavior at this time in this location. Formula I will, the behavior at this time in this location. So I am building a stretching habit. I went to get a massage for New Year's Day and she said, you need to stretch for like 20 minutes a day. Like I was just very tight, tense. She could tell that my job requires me to just sit in one spot for a full day and not really move around because I was just tense in areas in my back, my shoulders, my neck. So I've been trying to build a stretching habit. And I usually would stretch for like a minute or two in the night, in the morning, but she said 20 minutes. I'm like, damn, 20 minutes. Okay. So my habit in building in this formula is I will stretch at the time right before bed. So not a specific like 12 o'clock time, but like the time when you're thinking about doing this new behavior in wherever. Right now it's been in the living room. So I will stretch right before bed in the living room. And that has worked for me. The first week, I was great. Okay. The second week, I stretched for like 2 days. My goal is to stretch pretty much every day, but at least Monday through Friday. And I only stretched that Monday and Tuesday. And I was wondering, like, dang, why didn't I continue with that habit? And it's because I was just changing the time that I was doing things. There were times where I would stretch and then take a shower and then get in bed. But then there were times where I would take a shower and then try to stretch and then get in bed. But then after I showered, I'm like, oh, I just want to go to bed. I don't want to stretch now. I don't want to get back on the floor. Yeah. So it's about finding what works for you. And actually, that was a lie because I do stretch right before bed, which means I shower, I stretch, and I get in bed. That's what works for me. So I guess the times where I've tried to stretch and then get in the shower and then get into bed is when it was different for me. Yeah, so once I shower, it's already putting me in that relaxing mood. I stretch, I get in bed, and I feel amazing. But it's about finding that time. Also, another habit I wanted to build was to dance a little bit more. So I said, okay, I'm just going to dance every morning before I go to work. That's what I said. Now, think about your habits. What all are you doing before work? I'm not going to mention everything I do, but mainly you brush your teeth, you wash your face, you get dressed, right? So, with building a habit, you have to be even more specific. When exactly am I going to dance? So now it's like, oh, okay, I brush my teeth. And then I'm going to turn on my music that I want to dance to so that I can dance right before I get in the shower. I know. It's, it works. It works. I know it sounds very tedious, but it works because I found times that when I would turn my music on while I'm showering, sometimes I even dance in the shower. But then when I get out, like I'm not going to dance after I showered. So it makes more sense for me to dance, get in the shower, and then get dressed. You have to find exactly the time that you want to do that new thing. And then you're more prone to do it at that time. Even if it's something like working out. Today I'm going to work out, but I told myself I really want, I've been building a great habit at recording my podcast episodes certain days. So I wanted to build a habit of making sure I'm doing what I need to do first, which is my podcast, and then doing what I have to do or what I'm trying to build, which is working out, right? Making sure I get that workout in today. And to be even more specific, I will work out after my podcast in the gym, or if it's nice outside, outside. So pretty much I'm naming the behavior, I'm naming the time, and I'm naming the location. You can write that down. Name the behavior, the habit you want to change, the time, so when you're going to do it, and exactly where you're going to do it. And that helps out. Another thing that he said, he had a couple of rules. I like these 2-minute rules and 2-day rules. So he said to make it easy, to make building this habit easy, you want to start with 2 minutes. He gave an example of someone who went to the gym every single day. They just showed up 5 minutes and left. And that might sound silly. However, he's building the habit of at least getting up and going to the gym. So once you're there, you do your 5 minutes and you leave. You're committing to at least doing something. You want to meditate, build a habit of meditating. Wake up, meditate for 2 minutes, and you're done. That could be on your lunch break. You can say, I'm going to meditate on my lunch break in my car. So you can do that for 2 minutes each time. And once you get comfortable of building this habit of at least showing up, you can extend your time a little longer. So that person ended up losing weight, like 100 pounds, because they just showed up to the gym every day for 5 minutes. They built that habit, that routine of just getting up and going. And then eventually the time became 10, 20, 30, 40 full workouts now, right? And that person was able to lose weight, but they had to build a habit of even just doing something they might have dread, which is going to the gym. So show up for at least 2 minutes for yourself. Like with the stretching, I was like, child, you want me to do a stretch for 20 minutes? I do this for like 1 to 2 minutes a night. But okay, let me start with 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I'm at 15 minutes right now. I still haven't gotten up to 20 minutes because I'm just like, I'm trying to go to bed. I want to go to sleep. This feels great and all, but dang. So I'm at 15 minutes right now. But because I'm adding my time, it will get to the 20 minutes. All right. So start with 2 minutes. Whatever the habit is, start with 2 minutes. If you want to dance more or move your body more, start dancing. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Show up for yourself. 2 minutes. And then the 2-day rule, which is really good. And this is kind of what got me back on my stretching habit this week, because last week I did Monday, Tuesday stretch, like I said, and then I stopped for a few days. I stopped for probably like a week because I didn't start again until this past Tuesday. And it was literally what he said, the 2-day rule. He said you're allowed to skip one day of the habit. You know, things happen. But if you skip another day, 2 days, or it becomes a habit of not doing whatever it is. So you want to make sure you're building the habit, and with that, you are staying consistent. If you skip one day, it's okay. However, if you skip more than one day and you skip 2 days, then you get in the habit of not doing what you say you're going to do. So you want to reverse that habit. You want to keep the habit. You want to keep it good. You want to keep it easy. And you don't want to skip more than one day. So create better systems. When you start a new habit, be sure to start for at least 2 minutes and don't skip more than one day. Okay. So I want to get into 4 specific rules that James Clear shared about how to create a new habit. So it's the 4 laws of behavior change. They're a simple set of rules that we can all follow to build better habits. So number 1 is make it obvious. Number 2 is make it attractive. Number 3 is make it easy. And number 4 is make it satisfying. So let's go over number 1. Make it obvious. That means this is to schedule a regular time to do it. Like I said earlier, I'm going to do this right before I go to bed. I'm going to do this right before I take a shower. Like schedule when you're going to do it. Even when coaching clients, at the end, I'm asking, okay, so when are you going to start? And sometimes people are like, oh, sometimes next week. Okay, what day next week? Like you have to get really specific. So get that specific with yourself. You have to make it very obvious when this is going to happen. Number 2, make it attractive. So we're more likely to do something when we believe that it'll be fun and that we'll get a reward after it. So after I stretch, I know I get to relax in bed with my man, with myself, like whatever. I just get to relax. But after I do this one habit, do this one thing that I need to do, right? So I will rest and watch TV or go to sleep. That's my reward after I stretch. So make sure you link it with something that is rewarding afterwards. And to make sure that I am doing what I need to do, I do have an accountability partner. My friend and I, we went, before the new year, and we were talking about some goals and some habits and intentions and everything for the new year. And we decided, okay, let's hold each other accountable. So every week we check up on each other Sunday, Monday, like, hey, how'd you do last week? So because she checked on me this week, I was able to say, oh, yeah, nah, I only stretched 2 days last week. So I'm gonna get better. And then so a couple days later, she checked up on me. Hey, it's been a few days. Did you start stretching again? And I said, yes, I did. And I was so happy. I was so proud of myself. See how I brought that affirmation back around? So the first one, yes, make it obvious and then make it attractive. Okay. You could bring in an accountability partner to make it a little more fun. You are holding each other accountable and everything. This is for you. Like they trying to help you out. So, you know, make sure you get that accountability partner. That would be great. Number 3, make it easy. So that goes back to starting for 2 minutes a day and then making it easier, building that habit like something small is taking vitamins. I know that when they were in my cabinet every day, I did not see them, so I did not take my vitamins every day. However, I made it easy, super clear to do that habit by putting it right on my countertop. So now, as soon as I brush my teeth and everything, I take my vitamins. I've made it very easy. So now I'm making a conscious choice to not take my vitamins if I see them on the counter and I just choose not to take the vitamins. Like, girl, what are you doing? Right. So make it easy. I know with working out, some people might, like my fiance, he puts out his workout clothes the night before, even if you want to start to get to work on time. But you find that in the mornings when you're trying to figure out what to wear, that's taking up like 5 to 10 minutes of your morning. How about putting your clothes out beforehand? Some people even set their clothes for the week. So on Sunday, they'll figure out every single outfit for the week so that they don't have to think about it any morning or night of that week. So you can even do that. Just make it easy. Make it easier for you to do that thing. Like with stretching, I don't use a mat, but maybe for you, you might want to use a yoga mat and that'll remind you, okay, let me stretch before I go to bed tonight. So make it easy. And the last one is to make it satisfying. Sometimes you get like, ooh, a good satisfying feeling after you see your results. Now, some results don't come till months later. Say if you are starting the gym this year, you might not see results till months later, but once you start seeing those results, it's very satisfying to you. You're like, oh, yes, I'm looking good. I want to keep going so I can maintain this body, right? Or it could be if you have an Apple Watch and you set it when you are taking a walk or something afterwards. It's so satisfying to see like, wow, I burned this many calories, or wow, I went walking right now for this long. The other day I was on my lunch break and I finished eating after about 30 minutes and I had 30 more minutes and I'm like, I could sit here and scroll on social media. Instead, I went and took a walk around the park by our building and that was so satisfying. After 20 minutes, taking that walk, I felt better. I had more energy. My mood was better. I felt more awake and alert. So do something that is satisfying. It satisfies you. After stretching, I feel so good and so relaxed, right? After eating certain foods, I do not feel good. I like the taste in that time, but afterwards, I'm like, oh, that didn't feel good. However, one day this week, I ate a salad. I ate some fish and veggies, and I'm like, oh, I feel real good. I felt satisfied. Okay. So when building these habits and these healthy habits, you got to make sure that you are following this system. This system will work for you. Just figure out, okay, what behavior am I going to do at what time and what location? How can I make it obvious? How can I make it attractive? How can I make it easy? How can I make it satisfying? Right. So, those are some ways on how to form a new habit. And in the book, he goes into how to break some habits, which I'd urge you to purchase this book or listen to it. I'll listen to it on YouTube for free, just letting you know. So there are resources out there, okay? There are clip notes out there. There's this podcast called Go Girl that just shared some tips. And I even shared some tips in last year's episode about, again, episode 133, which you can listen to after this one, how to build a habit, stack a habit, and break bad habits. Stacking habits is like, you know, just like me brushing my teeth every day, boom. Before doing that, I'm going to take that vitamin. So I'm stacking habits together and how to break bad habits. I'm still trying to break one bad habit. I tend to snack a lot. So I'm working on that. And it's typically when I'm at work because they have so many good snacks. Oh my gosh, so good, right? All the chocolate and stuff. But they also have some peanuts, right? So do I have to take the chocolate or the salty chips, or can I take a healthier option? So I'm learning. I'm working on my snacks, but maybe I don't need to go to the kitchen as much. What am I going to the kitchen for? Why do I need that snack? Maybe I could bring my own snacks, you know? So obviously, if you're hearing me now, I do need to work on my relationship with food. So, because I think about it a lot. I think about what I'm eating, how I'm eating it, how much have I eaten it. It's a mess. So I want to make sure I'm just having a lifestyle change and I'm living and not thinking so much about every little choice that I make. So I'm working on that. I'm working on my snack habit and I'm gonna get this right. And so are you, okay? But I'm so proud of myself for the changes that I have been making with my stretching more, dancing a little bit more, having an accountability partner, submitting my Go Girl episodes and releasing them every single week. I'm glad and I'm very, very proud of myself. So that's the affirmation again for today. I am so proud of myself. I want you to say that for yourself too, okay? What are you proud of that happened last week, this week so far? What are you looking forward to this week that you're proud of? There's something there. Reflect on that. All right. Let me know how this episode has helped you. Be sure to follow me on social media at I am Ashley Caprice or at Go Girl Movement. And I'm also on TikTok where I share a lot of clips at I am Ashley Caprice. Hope to see you over there. Again, purchase your copy of the Go Girl Guidebook, a woman's interactive guide to self-love on Amazon. And be sure to follow me and keep up with me. And if you want some coaching, I got you. www.gogirlmovement.org. I am here for you. All right. I am so proud of myself for sharing these healthy new ways on how to form new habits with you today. All right. I hope you follow suit. It's your life, girl. Okay. I'll talk to you next week. Go, girl.